Hello, people. Lek here. Today I want to talk about the Enigmatic Indian Panzer, a tank that I've always liked, but a tank that seems to be ignored by many people. This tank, I actually want to do a review of it because it recently came to my attention. It's actually one of the lowest win rate tanks in the game. I think it's in the bottom 5 worst tanks in terms of win percentage. And I kind of want to explain that it's actually a much better tank than most people realize. And I think that's partly why the win rate is so low on it, is because most people just don't know how to play it. It's kind of an odd tank in the tech tree. Most people skip it. They go up to the Leopard 1 using the RE251. When I was going up this line, the VK30.02D did not exist. So you had to go through the SP1C and then choose one of these two tanks, Indian or the RU. I went up using the Indian. I've still never gotten an RU. And I've always liked the Indian, and I'm going to explain to you why I think it's actually a much better tank than most people realize. So let's take a look at the gun for the Indian. Most people don't actually realize how great a gun this tank really has, and the reason I'm comparing it here to the CDC is because these tanks have basically the exact same cannon. You can see they both shoot a 90 millimeter gun, same penetration for all 3 shells. The velocity is exactly the same, dispersion is the same, on movement rotation the same. Everything is exactly the same, except the CDC has a tiny bit more DPM, not much, and the CDC has a little bit better aim time. Otherwise, it's exactly the same gun, and it's a great cannon. Anybody who has a CDC knows this gun is like a laser. I mean, it's a very low dispersion. You can hit from any distance. Shell velocity is insanely high, so it's very precise over long distances. AP pen is really great at 212. It's one of the highest in tier 8. APCR is about normal. So overall, the gun handling is actually as good or better than most tier 8 mediums. And looking at the armor, which is one of the things that most people complain about with this tank, you realize the armor is actually a lot better than you think. So I always jokingly call this tank a pinhead because it has a big body and a tiny turret. But that's actually a huge advantage because look at this tank when you're using the -10 gun depression. Yes, -10, that's a huge advantage. The turret is so small that the entire turret is basically covered by this gun mantlet, which you cannot pen most of the time. And because of the gun depression, the upper glacis, you're looking at 400 millimeters. Here it's a little bit lower, but still 270. So the upper glacis, the front of the tank, is very strong when you use gun depression. The rest of the tank is terrible. I mean, the sides are horrible. The back is non-existent. But the turret is pretty strong. We'll get a lot of troll bounces because of the mantlet. And the upper glacis can block a bunch of shots. And so if you are able to use this tank and get hull down, you have great DPM, you have a very accurate cannon, you can actually farm and get a ton of damage. So I've got a nice replay today with the Indian. Nothing too exciting, but it really showcases the gun itself and also what the tank can do in terms of being hauled down. This is a good map for that, of course. So I'm just moseying on to the normal spot to A. There's 3 of us here on this side, and at least up front I'm assuming there's going to be 3 of them. So I don't want to push too far. I'm just kind of peering over here. I've got gun depression. I noticed the Cheery is in a very odd spot, so I decided to push forward. Here I decided to bypass the cap so he doesn't know I'm coming up behind him. And he's just sitting there in a terrible spot. I don't know why he went there. But I'm kind of hanging back. You see our 49 went rushing in, hungry to get that big HE shot. But didn't realize that their lights are not spotted, so he's in a complete disaster. I mean, he's just in a horrible spot now. And they're going to farm the shit out of him. And he's dead. I mean, just don't rush in if you don't get everybody spotted. Always wait till everyone's spotted, especially when there's light tanks. LTTB is cleared easily, and now we've got an easy 2-on-1 here with this Type 62. A great tank, but against me, no way. I've got the DPM, I've got the armor. Bad shot there, but... And there's 2 of us. I mean, he's just screwed. So, easily clear this guy. And we put up a good fight.
So now with their meds and lights gone, it's just a kind of a massacre. I think they are down to, yeah, it's 6 on 4. As long as the heavies don't do something really stupid, it's an easy win. You notice our heavies throughout this haven't moved an inch except one. So you've got your typical blitz game. 252 is overextended. Everyone else is still sitting in spawn, waiting for Santa Claus, I guess. But now I can just farm. I mean, this gun just... I mean, you can shoot on the move. It hits. The reticle is so small. Look how small this reticle is. It's just so accurate. You can just farm the crap out of people. DPM of almost 2400 for our tier 8 med is really great. And you rarely miss any shots. I mean, I can take a shot at that low, and I'll know by the time I get around the corner, I'll basically have a shell ready to kill that IS-5. And that's the beauty of having this DPM. Now, this is a situation that I sort of wouldn't have done if it wasn't for the fact that it was 4 on 1. I would never have rushed this guy, because the Hori will tear you apart. I don't have... This is not a tank you want to be face-hugging people with. But I know there's 4 of us, and I don't care if he kills me. And Smasher finishes the job. Very easy win. Not the most exciting game, but you can see how accurate this gun is. So, if you don't have this tank, I definitely encourage you to go try it. It's a skill tank. Get hauled down and just farm. It is actually a really great tank. It's very underrated. Hope you enjoyed the review of this enigmatic beast, and please subscribe to the channel.